Let's look at this second example first. Our problem might say we're going to have so many years, and we're going to change that to minutes. So when we start our grid, it starts here with the number of years that were given in our problem. We don't want years, we want to change it to minutes. This is what we want. So we're going to have to get rid of the label years. So our next conversion factor, these would come from the charts that you wrote down a few minutes ago. Years would have to be on the bottom. And that would be probably days here. We would make it. Now our years cancel out. And the next box, because we're not at minutes yet, we're at days. So now we have to change our days into hours. We're getting closer. We need a day on the bottom so we can cross it out here on this diagonal, and the hour goes up here. Now the days cross out. We need another one. The next one would be changing hours into minutes. Well, if we put it like this won't cross out. They're the wrong different labels. So we would have to turn our minutes to the top part. We'd have to put our minutes up here and our hours here, so we're able to cross out a top and a bottom. We're finally at the label that we want. Now we can make our calculation. So the label for the answer is some number, that's what we're going to calculate, and then a label of minutes. So we're going to put some number in here, and that is actually the math. But for right now, what we're doing is tracking the labels. And you need a label on the top, and you need a label on the bottom that's the same as each other, so you can cross a top and a bottom. Here's one that's a little more complicated, but I will give this example to you. In this case, we're changing miles per hour. And we're going to be ending up with our feet per second. That's what they want us to do, feet per second. So we're going to start out with our miles per hour. And in this case, this line right here, miles per hour, when you see the word per or every hour, miles every hour, or miles each hour, something like that, you're going to know that that is a calculation where the miles part goes on the top number, miles, and the hour per hour goes on the bottom. Before, we were only filling in this top part for the very first position, but we're tracking two things right now, miles per hour, and then we're going to end up with feet per second. So we've got to keep moving over here. We're going to be looking at wiping out the miles first. So we're going to look at our distance calculation first. We have to cross them out a little at a time, or it would be way too confusing. So let's focus on the distance calculation, and then we'll come back and do the time. Okay, so we would have the miles would cancel out. Now we can deal with the hours. So we have hours per minute. And in this case, I have a bottom hour and I have a top hour. So I can cross those out in a diagonal. The minutes need to be turned into seconds. I have my feet already. See that one? I can keep because that's what our label is for the answer. So the feet I've got here, but these are in minutes and we need seconds. So we need another box here to get rid of our minutes. This time we can cross out a bottom and a top, and now we've got our feet, and then we've got our label seconds. So after we do the calculation with the numbers, our label will be feet per second. I hope that you understand how the grid works, but we'll have lots of practice with our actual problems. So get ready for some examples.